All right, we're back. And we're back.
All
right.
I make a motion that we move to new business item I.
All right, approval of volunteer firefighter application for Eugene Smith.
Heavy. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we have the application, which is mostly complete. The physical is still actually lacking one checklist, whether or not there are or are not limitations on the duties checked below related to the medical condition of the firefighter or relating to the workplace conditions. And so there's nothing that says there are or are not limitations, but go ahead and go to a vote without that.
Hey, I'm going to vote no due to that.
Same.
No. Get the approve pending the are or are not limitations.
But you say approve pending?
Well, pending are or are not limitations.
Yeah, I will vote yes. And fails 3-2. 3-2.
3-2.
3-2.
Okay, moving on.
All right, next item on the agenda.
Police department.
Police department.
Sorry, chief.
You can go. Thanks, Malin.
Thanks,
Malin.
Malin. Folks. All the way around.
All right.
I know we mentioned it, but we haven't really come to grips with it. Maybe putting a camera in the front here. I know the chief put it in its minutes here.
We,
A possibility, blah, blah, blah.
I spoke with Fred about
I'm
it.
for it.
I spoke with Fred about it. He loves the idea. I'm in favor of the idea. Chief's in favor of the idea. One out back or in this entranceway here, and one right when you come up the stairs through this entrance. Right?
Yeah, just to make sure who comes in, at least you'll know.
Yep.
You know, if they do something terrible in here, at least you'll know who it was.
Did you happen to talk to Bob about a quote for that?
He gave me a quote when we did talk about camera systems, and he said there's a system you can put on, I think it takes up to 14 cameras.
Wow.
You put it on for now, you could put a couple on for now, but you give it room to add to.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
They're about $3,000 for the package, usually.
Yeah. So we'll get an official quote from him, and because I like the idea, and I know Fred does too, and so
Who's gonna do that?
Chief.
Clerk, yeah, the chief?
I'll let it go.
Okay,
Chief.
thanks. We'll work on it for the next one.
Is there anything you want to highlight in your report, Chief?
The security and safety,
Security and safety presentation.
December 19th, 6:30 at the Commissioner Green.
Yes.
Hopefully Nick puts something in the Quirrell scanner for us.
Yes.
Would be good.
You're gonna email him your blurb.
I could, you want me to email it to you? Yeah, that'd be great. All right.
You said the 19th?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Center for the Arts.
Presentation I've done.
Volunteers.
Oh, is it?
Presentation I've done before for seniors.
It's a good one, yeah.
Anything else you want to highlight? Want to talk about third floor stuff?
Um,
Or was that what you're thinking? No?
No, wait.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Anything on IRT coming next year?
Well, I
Any
had
info on
a
that?
meeting, the fourth. And they came in, did a site survey, and we, I believe it's, show July 9th. Just like the last time, it'll be around 14 days they'll be in town. A couple days setting up, 10 days providing the service, a couple days tearing down, so.
That'd be great.
That was a really good thing last time.
I think it saved the county $500,000 worth of medical.
Yep.
And they really don't.
Hopefully people take advantage of it.
Well, I'll be there. I need glasses like you wouldn't believe. I can't see anything. Can't see anything that's happening here. I'm just,
There you go.
How was your coffee with the chief on the
He is
24th?
the chief.
Oh, well.
yeah,
Well, it's just like it's on Small Business Saturday. We started a little slow, but by 10 o'clock, they picked up, people were coming in, and I didn't leave there, got there until 11:30, 12 o'clock.
excellent.
Any themes or anything of,
Just one person was talking to me about the parking zoning, you know, parking between the curb and the street. And so, really pretty minor, you know.
Excellent.
Would now be okay to talk about the overtime that Tanya said?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
We would just send some information on a couple departments about overtime.
Yep.
And I think you can help me out. Because people have been asking us why we have such a large police force and so many patrolmen. And then I saw, and my response to that is because, you know, there's only one officer on duty at a time, correct?
Correct.
Then I saw that the overtime was quite extensive.
Well,
Why would that be?
majority of that overtime is reimbursed overtime. Be it DWI, or bike patrol, traffic enforcement. They're all the grants that they've gotten. So that's what you're showing the overtime. It's because of that. It's additional funding that is provided.
I send them, just so you know what I sent them, every month I'm now sending them a list of everyone who had overtime in their hours and their pay. So they're looking at solely November hours, which also includes October 31st because that's paid on the 1st. So that might help you.
I mean, really, we got part-timers here. It's not really a large police department. We have 4 full-timers and myself, 5 full-timers. We have a lot of part-timers. Part-timers fill in when the full-timers take a day off. That cuts down on overtime tremendously. Occasionally here and there, we have to have a full-timer or cover on overtime. Not very often. If it is, it's, you know, it's an hour here, maybe 2 hours, or they get a late call. So it's really, it kept the overtime down quite a bit.
Yeah, and you supplement it well with all the grant funding that you bring in. That's critical.
I mean, you're showing overtime, but that's all reimbursed.
Yeah, just when people ask me the question, I need to have an answer.
No, I get it, yeah.
So like the bike patrol, looks like we're gonna get the funding again in 2019?
Yep.
The bike patrol? That's great.
It is great.
And you got a grant for the traffic safety grant?
Yep.
And so that'll be 2019 as well?
Yes.
Okay.
He had roughly 21,000 in his budget for reimbursable grants for personnel, on top of the SROs and the crossing guards.
Okay. And then there were we got reimbursed for the girls soccer championship?
Yes.
Excellent. I like that you're very aggressive about going after these grants.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Thank you, Chief.
Did you talk about that?
I'll make a
Yeah.
motion. Oh,
Okay.
Are you done?
Yep, no.
I'll make a motion to accept the police department.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Did he set a date for that?
The 19th. That's the 19th.
Sorry, I must have missed it.
Obviously,
I missed
you want-
6:30 at the church.
Yeah, are we gonna talk about the third floor someday?
I just got a couple more things to discuss with you about it. So.
Okay, got it. I gotta take the temperature of these folks too, you know.
Came through my
Oh, you got some ideas? Okay.
Well, no, some problems.
Oh,
Potential problems.
you're always thinking about the angles and always the bad problems.
Well, it's just problems that could come up.
Got it.
Well,
All right. Yeah. So then we'll talk about it then.
Right.
Sounds good. Thank you,
Thank you,
Chief.
sir.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
All right. Recreation.
Sorry, it's a little thin. I've got more handwritten on the bottom of my own report than what you guys have.
Well, then I guess you'll be giving us a presentation.
Sure. Cheerleading all finished. They were signed up for a tournament in Ithaca that got canceled. I don't think there was enough participation for that. Next year, we're going to open up with 7th and 8th graders, so expand the program even more. This year, I don't remember, but it doubled in size. And we're gonna, instead of one coach in charge of 30 kids with helpers, we're gonna have 2 head coaches now for a junior team and a senior team. And hopefully that alleviates a lot of the interpersonal problems, the older girls, the younger girls and stuff like that. And I think it's a good thing. Let's see, I have one refund request from an individual who had a medical issue. Beginning of the season, they haven't been to any practices or games. They submitted the request to me via email after the program started. The only cost is a shirt. I propose that I just absorb the shirt cost and save it for next year and order one less. What I generally order 2 extra of each size anyway, in case somebody comes in late or something like that. So it's
That's a good idea.
But I'd like to refund that individual. I think it's only $35. Either 35 or 65. And that's something that you guys.
Yep. We do need to approve that. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thanks, Zach.
Basketball, potentially having a 7th grade team. Some parents from the junior high are interested in getting some competition. Their program ends in January, or actually it ends December.
Yeah.
And they have no more competition, so to extend it, like the rest of our rec programs go all the way into March, first and second week of March, so hopefully we can help them out with that. Our 4th and 5th grade rec teams are combining, and now we're gonna have an A squad and a B squad. A squad's gonna play in Binghamton tournaments and the league there, and the B squad's gonna play rec games. That'll be nice for the coaches. We've got 2 really great coaches who, Chris Calvero and Aaron Hart, 2 really good guys. And with them combined, kind of helping each other out, it'll help the schedule out for them. We've also extended our skills and drills program for the K through 2 and K through 3 boys and girls into March. That was originally ending in December, but we lost 3 weeks of gym space from various school activities and holidays, so let's give them some more time. Light of my life was last Friday, I believe. Mike helped me out with the fire truck again, getting stamped over there. That was great. Randy provided cookies that we paid for. I think that came. There wasn't a whole lot of people. Last year I think it was colder last year, but there were more people. I think the snow kind of scared them away. So I don't know what we can do to get more people, but it's not really on me, I guess.
How many do you think we had?
80, 70, maybe less.
Okay.
Not a great job. I'm going to submit an advertisement to the Center for the Arts playbill. I have a friend take half a page or something. I believe it's their main, I don't know what it is.
The one that goes out with everything for the year. Yeah.
So I think it's going to cost about $300 or something for half a page.
Yeah.
I think at this point in my budget, that's okay. Ski club's pretty much all set. Not much communication coming from the school. They've changed over, the program changed over, I'd say hands with a few teachers that take control of it that haven't done it before, so that might be the issue.
Okay.
That's really about it.
All right. Any questions for Zach?
If you're having trouble with reading crowd sizes, you can always ask our president. He's real good at it.
No politicking. Any other questions for Zach?
I just realized what you're
Yeah.
I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept this rec report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, thank you, Zach. All right, water billing. Are we ready? Are we ready for the next billing cycle? Yeah?
Good report.
I'm,
Really having really good,
that's all right.
you know, there aren't any major issues, which is a good thing.
Okay.
And, you know, we're getting ready for the next one. When you guys are ready to go out and get some leads.
When do you think they'll start, Christie?
I talked to Buzz today and said that the handheld's ready and John's ready, so. It doesn't usually take him too long to get it done, so I would guess end of this week, definitely ready to get it next week.
Okay, so they're gonna start,
Relatively soon.
yeah.
Yeah, relatively soon, they'll start going out.
Very good.
And it should be good to go.
Questions?
Motion to accept the report.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, the next item, we did privilege of the floor already. Old business, new business, CDBG mortgage releases.
For the deferred loans from the CDBG program, once the residency requirements are met per the specific program, a mortgage release needs to be completed. Dante sent me the form that we're going to complete. At that point, no further payments would be recaptured if the house is sold. So in the 2011 program, it was a 5-year residency requirement. These were all up this year that are listed from Mary Knickerbocker down to Linnea Personius. So all of those will need a lien release from the 2011 program. The one below it from that 2011 program was sold. So we received that money because it was still, part of it was still owed to the village. And then what you'll receive every month is the ones that are still outstanding. So in the 2011 program, you'll see there's 6 that are still outstanding. If the taxpayer sold their house before the dates next to it, the village would recapture some. If not, then a mortgage release would be done at those dates.
Got it.
2013 is also a 5-year program. There's 2 that need the lien release that are noted. 3 more are outstanding. The 1998 program was a 20-year program. And of course, all of them didn't start in 1998. So you'll see there's 4 of them that have to get a mortgage release. And then there's 2 that are still outstanding all the way to July 29th, 19. So here we're looking to release all the mortgage releases to actually complete them for only those that are qualified.
Got it. I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion that for those that are qualified, we do the mortgage release.
Are you just gonna mail them to the homeowners, or are we gonna discharge them at the county
We have
clerk's
to
office?
discharge them at the county.
All
So
right.
we have to send them there. Hal will have to sign them. They're notarized and then
Yeah.
the taxpayer gets a copy.
Great.
Uh,
That's good.
Waited for the approvals to do them.
Yeah, no, and that's probably, I just wanted to make sure they got discharged, because the ones that we've done kind of ad hoc, never filed their discharge or had it come up, so it's good that we're doing it this way.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay. All right. Next item, approval of the new or updated village policies for vacation, overtime, and
Compensatory.
comp time. Comp time.
In the vacation time,
Compens.
the biggest change is that we're gonna allow employees to carry over 80 hours after December 31st, up to 80 if they have it left. In addition, the time would be accrued through their anniversary date. So if they have an anniversary date of February, on January 1st, it would be awarded, accruing the next year of 11 months. So that is the biggest changes in vacation.
Got it.
All the completion years, the vacation leave dates, they're all the same.
Got it. So this is the discussion that we had in the budget meeting.
Yep.
All
Do
right.
you want me to do each of them?
Yep, no, well,
Or do you want to vote on each separately?
we can do them all at once, I think.
So overtime, the biggest change here is just paperwork that we're going to be requiring so that we can explain why. And I've also included a date, and you have to revise this policy, and every year where it's reviewed by the Board of Trustees.
Got it. Excellent.
Compensation time. This is a new policy, and it's sent to Devontae, where employees have the choice of overtime and compensation time, and it would be recorded on their timesheets approved by the department heads before it's actually even, so the employees know they have the choice before completing the work.
And,
This would be in compliance with the federal standards.
Right.
Federal Fair Standards Labor.
but the actual authorization of the overtime work would be at the department head would have to authorize it before. They couldn't just,
And then all comp time would have to be either used or paid out by February 28th of every year. And then again, this policy would be reviewed every year during the budget and is subject to review by January 1st. So that's in there too.
all right. I would entertain a motion to accept all three changes.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
What is let's say the department head does approve the overtime, they work the overtime or whatever. And then we find it and we look at it and we don't feel it was necessary or warranted.
Too late.
That's
So-
where you would be dealing with the department head and the
Right.
review and how the
Okay,
department
so
head
that's what I
actually
meant. So it's
manages.
in
Yeah.
Okay, yep, okay, I'm good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. With this, when will we do the training for the employees?
I'll actually send something out before January 1st, and whenever we would like to do a training, that's easy. We could just do a PowerPoint training. I'm gonna redesign the timesheet too, so I'll do that this week and send that to you.
Excellent.
We'll have it at our meeting Sunday. I'll have a projection for the timesheet.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that all our employees are fully aware of the
Well,
changes.
we are making, with all the changes that we're making to the handbook, we'll have to probably do a large
Yeah,
handbook training
And what-
pizza party.
there we go. And as these take effect on the 1st, they'll actually be recorded in our system, so that's why we do have to go over the timesheets with them.
Okay.
All right, next item. Is the demolition permit fee.
Just mirrored the towns.
Oh, just mirroring the towns. Yep. Right now, we don't have a permit fee for demolition, so this is just instituting one. So I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Just real quick, you got small, how you differentiate the two loads?
That's per the CEO. We're looking at, you determine the size, and determine if you use 25.
There's the statute, Village Law 114-8 that I think lays out the size and so.
That lays out the fee schedule.
Right, the fee schedule.
The codes can determine the size.
Oh, the size. Got it. Okay, got it.
And this will take effect,
As soon as you approve it.
I know they've already started demolition on one structure, and
Well, I think that's gone, so.
I think that $50 is sale.
yeah, I know.
$50 we'll never get back.
I'd rather see the structure gone, so.
Yes.
Not worried about that. I make a motion that we approve the demolition permit fee.
I'll say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay. The next item, approval of changes in the hourly rate due to New York State minimum wage increase.
On January 1st, the minimum wage increases from 10.40 to 11.10. So each of the employees either would need to be raised to 11.10 or they're 11.10 or under. So as we talked about, they would get the same respective increase.
Right.
I make a motion that we approve the changes in the hourly rates.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next.
The proposal too is for our executive session.
Okay, got it. Let's see. Approval of exceptions to personal time off carry forwards.
Okay. So
Personal
for-
time off,
Personal time off.
carry
Yes,
forwards.
exactly. So, per our new vacation policy, employees are allowed to carry over 80 hours of vacation only. Anything else has to be approved by the Board of Trustees. Due to different situations, some employees have requested others. Kevin Reese is requesting an additional 53.33 hours. Fred Coolidge is requesting to convert his 20 hours of personal, so he'd only have 30 hours of vacation. Sergeant Eckert is requesting to use the 32 hours of unused holiday hours where he was working for the police department to add that to his vacation of 46, so he'll still be under the 80. Officer Para would like to convert 32 holiday hours over to vacation. As he is 70 already, the additional 32 would make 102, but 22 hours would be used by February 20, 2019. At the end of next year, he wouldn't have this issue. Officer Compton is almost the same. He wants to convert 64 hours of unused holiday time to vacation. Adding this to his vacation already carried forward, he would have the total of 159, but because of the holiday, didn't want to take it off now, and is taking off his time in January to bring it all the way back down to 80. And Mike Carter and Chief Pittman, as department heads, are looking to carry over the up to 160.
Which as department heads, they're allowed to.
We didn't put that in. We have to look that up. We said we were going to talk about that and do it as,
Right.
look at here.
Um,
And this would be a one-time this year, and at this point, directors they're all on their timesheets, completely there every time. At the same point, they get quarterly statements of people that haven't used it.
so this is just the last gasp of fixing some of these things that we need to address in the employee handbook due to the fact that they've been unclear since it was revised in 2006. And so this would patch that, and then going forward, we would be all set.
Makes sense. I'll make a motion to accept.
Do we need to also talk, at some point, we have to approve or not, whether or not we're going to let department heads carry 160?
Needed to talk to Dante on.
Oh, you need to talk to Dante
That's
on
why
that?
I haven't.
Another
written the
executive
policy.
session
Yeah.
issue? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So then we can't accept all of this. We have to accept aside from Mike Carter and Chief Pittman.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Discussion. This
Yeah.
is a one-time fix.
Yep.
I mean,
One time, yes.
All these employees will get letters I'm going to do tomorrow, and I'm leaving them for Hal to sign on Friday, and that will be stated in there.
Yeah, this won't happen again.
This is a cleanup.
Yeah, this is the clean.
I just want to make sure we're not addressing this again.
No, it's
That's the plan.
it's all going to go into the employee handbook revision, which will be completed, and then there won't be any gray area anymore.
In addition, the department heads get quarterly reports now, and they're going to have to, they're responsible then to go talk to them. And I can tell you the department heads do because the employees have been continuously in my office.
Okay.
So,
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay. All right. This letter is just Chief Pittman's letter in support, I assume?
Yep.
All right. Kevin's.
The two respective directors were in my office, so that's what the.
Got it. Okay. All right. Next item, approval of title changes for certain village employees per civil service. So we've been working with the civil service folks at the county, cleaning up some longstanding issues. And we need to make a few title changes to come into compliance. And so those three are listed here. Jim would go from working foreman to cemetery sexton, part-time. Donna would go from deputy clerk treasurer to account clerk. And Mike Gagliotti would go from sewer heavy equipment operator to heavy equipment operator.
I make a motion that we accept the changes as written.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Approval of budget adjustments as per village treasurer.
So we went over most of these in our budget meeting. Do you want to go over just the new ones or the whole thing?
Just the new ones, since we went over them already.
So if you go to the third page, it starts off with the personnel, it says treasurer personnel. And then street admin personnel, that's plus
Got it.
11. What this is reclasses to moving the funds to what is needed to be spent for personnel time out of the beautification line that we're not using. This one we talked about going to do, I had to go back and do that in the office.
Right.
So
Right.
that's moving the money that so we don't
Right.
have to take
We're
from
not
fund
taking out the
balance.
run account.
Right. And that's, we're not, this money we are going to put back in for beautification. This is the sign money, but for next year.
Yep.
Yes.
Then the next one is to reclass grounds work to recreation. We had a personnel that worked over in another department, so we have to move the budget to correspond to that.
Right.
The 17.5 is just a reclassing between the reserve and the equipment for a truck that we purchased.
Yep.
The reserve and then the supply power pumping, that's to reclass the equipment reserve. We're gonna need 5,461 out of that to actually finish paying off the debt. So when we have that one in the bottom entry of that 61,334 that we're reclassing,
Right.
if approved tomorrow, the sewer debt will be paid off 2 years early because we have the funds.
Fantastic.
So, and then the other is moving another equipment in reserve for the same duty truck. It was split half sewer and water.
Right. Very good.
There is no interest because we're paying it early, so we won't have any interest for the next 2 years. It has to be paid by the 31st. So as long as it's approved, it's being paid at Dryden tomorrow.
So generally what you're saying is we're paying off the debt early and we're gonna save the interest.
Very awesome.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget adjustments as outlined.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. Okay. Next item. Muffin Muncher. This is one that the day I started, I think it was literally the very first time I met Buzz, he started talking about how we're going to need a new one of these.
The adjustment that we had enough money to pay for this and put some into the reserve.
Great.
That is fantastic.
Good and good.
There's only one bid because
There was
We
no.
can
So Dante, essentially, there's only one vendor. We can only get one bid because there's only one vendor.
Yeah, that's why those exceptions exist. Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're on the record
Oh,
saying that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what it is? You know what we're talking about?
This Taskmaster? No, I have no idea.
It's a big grinder just before you go down into Portland.
Okay.
That takes any solids that come through our sewer system and kind of turns it into a paste. And is
It's
able
not
to
a
send
competitive market, huh? Only one player.
Yeah.
One player that grinds up the.
Trust me, if that one goes down, you want a replacement.
Yeah,
Quick.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of like important.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, we are getting the grease-filled reducer and the high torque jaw style coupling. So
That's a good thing.
those are all things I look for. All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the
I'm
purchase.
gonna make a motion to approve this purchase.
I'm gonna second it.
Discussion? All in favor? And
I know.
That's gonna
Be
make-
so happy about.
Yeah.
purchasing.
That's gonna make Buzz
Down
happy.
there for broke.
Yeah.
Okay, the next item, we did already approve the purchase of the backhoe on, oh wait, we did I, we did J, we are down to K. Authorize us to, oh, we don't have any documentation on this one, do we? Nope. So this is the regional planning, Central New York Regional Planning and Development Board has funding to do a study on bicycle routes and what we need to do to make it more bicycle friendly. There's two trails that come down through Homer, one that comes Route 11 all the way down, and one comes, I think it comes from 41 or maybe 281 down Clinton, and then they both continue over the bridge into Cortlandville and then into the city. Part of the goal is to make this a more bike friendly area. Obviously, we have the Lime bike. The Lime bikes are coming, I hope. We should have an MOU from them. I would have thought we had it at this meeting. We'll probably have it next meeting. And so they have funding where they basically come up with 50% of the cost for this. It's a no apply grant. We just get it if we
If we
approve
do
it.
Yep.
So.
I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to enter in this agreement.
Second.
No discussion needed?
No discussion?
Will we have a presentation by somebody from Peacemaker Trail or?
Yeah, we can have Jean come down and talk about it. She brought down the big maps when I met with her. Very impressive. It's a good program. They're a great
Fit in with our
organization.
Route 11 and all
It-
that.
yeah, it really
Makes
does
sense.
fit in with everything
Just
we're trying to
another
do.
draw to get people to come.
So, and it's all part of this whole thing that we're doing with the city in Cortlandville to make this a more bike friendly
Area.
place. Yeah. I mean, when we get these Lime bikes here and even when they approve the scooters, I mean, there was a South Park episode, I don't know if you saw, about the scooters on Halloween and how they take over an area. But when you have the scooters and you can just go out, walk out the door and jump on one and it's electric and zoop, all the way to the city and then jump off and leave it right wherever.
And these bikes got batteries in them.
Yeah. It was really
I think the only
fantastic.
thing I've heard complaints about that is people leaving them like right in the middle of where you walk.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because you literally just hop off the thing and walk away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that will happen. But
How
But
long is
that's like
the,
the only downfall.
how long is the presentation for the Peacemaker Trail?
as long as you want it to be, what do you want? 3 days?
No. But
Short one?
I think it would be great for our residents and if we had it here for maybe like a 10, 15 minute
I think,
with maps and
yep.
stuff.
I think we could do that. And then we could also bring the Lime bike people in to talk about that, do it at the same time. But we need to move on this because they're limited funding. It's other areas are scooping it up.
I'm good to go with it.
So
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous? Okay. Righty. Authorization to execute a fire contract between the Homer Fire Department and Town of Homer. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory.
I make a motion that we authorize the mayor to execute the fire contract between the Homer Fire Department and the Town of Homer.
Second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Do it, and we'll get it done. Right.
All right. Approved.
Aye. So
I need to sign 3 of these. So if 2 other of you folks can,
There's one right here.
yeah, now I got 2. Just need one more. Fantastic.
Excuse my reach.
Marvelous. Okay, there's
And
three.
then with that, once we get done with our budget,
He's got three.
then the fire will look at doing a 4 or 5 year contract
Mhm.
with the town and the rest of our supporting districts, so we can get some long-term stability.
Yes. All right, the next item is to authorize me to enter into a purchase agreement for
Yeah.
the
Just change the purchase agreement to kind of complete the complete the
complete
transfer
the
docs.
transfer,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, because we did this and it's now gone through and the Attorney General says, fantastic.
Yep.
Everybody says good, and here to have a free church. So,
I make a motion authorizing the mayor to complete the transfer of the former Episcopal Church located at 64 South Main Street on the Village Green for $0 to the Village of Homer,
And sign all the documents necessary.
and sign all documents necessary.
I'll second.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous?
So Dante, once he signs off, how soon before we get the deed?
So Andrew is the church representative for the Presbyterian Church, and Matt has given him all the documents to sign. So I think Matt's going to give them back to me, and then I'll leave them for the mayor to sign or go over them
Excellent.
this week, next week, very, very shortly.
Okay.
Good. Sweet. All right. And in that vein, authorizing an agreement of services with Crawford and Stearns for a limited building conditions assessment of the Little White Church, so that they can come in and, tell us what we need to fix and all that sort of thing. Randy's already been down and looked at it.
He's got no cross piece there.
Got to fix the cross piece and
Not all.
some other things. Yep. So this is just to authorize
I'll make that motion.
One second.
discussion.
Love that little church. I
Yep.
think it's a great asset.
It is going to be
I
enormous.
think we're gonna use it a lot.
I do too.
I just think in future, we need to really emphasize these, I hate to use the word synergy, but of the Landmark Society and their ability to write grants, which will help offset some of these costs. But
Sure.
because of the need to expedite this,
Mhm.
I think it's important that we do this now.
Yep, I agree. And then this document will inform a lot of that grant writing that they do on behalf of it.
These guys are good.
Yeah, these are the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
They're the best. Yep. Do I have a second?
Oh, you did?
Dude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Wow. Geez, thanks, guys. All right, Dante, any comments for us? Nothing from Dante. Comments by board members. Round the horn. Mr. Ed.
How's Route 11 coming?
So, yeah, I could talk about a
Hate
little
to
bit
see
about that.
get-
We won't go too far, but we're,
You're good progress.
yes, so
That's okay.
the RFPs or RFPs have gone out for the, not assessment, Appraisals.
Okay,
yep, and to find, I think, people to do the phase 1 and phase 2s.
okay.
So,
Great.
so we are moving forward.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
Second thing is, Dan, how you doing on the micro enterprise grants?
Lots of activity. My apps are due on Friday and I expect to have some.
So is there still time left if anybody was out there?
Sure, it's gonna be a crunch though to throughout the year to get it, but I'm still, obviously we'll still entertain as long as we can, and then if there'll have to be a cutoff at some point in time next year. So.
So all those new businesses out there, go see Dan,
If you live in Homer.
or existing businesses.
35,000.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
Sorry, shameless plug.
That's all
I'm
right.
done.
You're done? Tim, anything?
No, sir, not today.
Did you hear back from Casey on the LED stuff?
Negative.
Is it time to,
Yep.
okay. All right. Dan, you want to apply a little pressure to Casey? Thank you.
We have to come up with, because
Because we didn't even get a response from that email. That I know, I haven't seen anything.
I had all that stuff and wrote to him, how do you want to structure it, how do you want to send it? He said, hold off, you're gonna have to have a meeting.
And then radio silence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
News will come home.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
we have to come up with a code or something, because we have two Caseys that
Oh, yeah.
differentiate.
LED Casey.
LED Casey.
Kevin, anything?
I touched on Route 11 because I had one of the tenants was asking me about it, and I said, I'm not really sure. I'm having a meeting tonight. No, I'll get back to you.
Yep. As soon as we have those appraisals done, then we will be to them with our offers. So can't happen soon enough.
Is there a time frame on
I think the RFPs are for a month, and then we'll have that back, and then we'll ask them to turn them around pretty quickly. So hopefully we can make them an offer by the 1st of February. I know it's all taking longer than, I've learned now a lesson, which is that anything that involves real estate takes 5 times as long as you thought it was going to take. So I don't want to say who holds things up, but lawyers. It doesn't bother me.
it?
He's all right.
From what everybody loves the sidewalk thing.
Oh, good. Well, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because you will hear it more than all of us.
No doubt.
All right, he's got a list.
No, I don't.
Let her rip.
Is it my?
Your turn.
Because you had Fred and he came in and he
stole all your
he
thunder?
stole all my thunder. So there's really, we talked about everything, talked about the bridge and talked about the movement of the offices. And for those that haven't had a chance, make sure you go up and take a look. It's looking really nice.
Very nice, yeah.
So you leave the carpet down.
Yeah, they laid the carpet down this week. So no, that's all I got.
Very good.
I got something again. The sewer,
The sewer project?
you know,
You saw we got a big grant, right?
we got 430,000.
25% of the total project
This
costs.
is not bad, because we can get more next year maybe. I don't know.
Not
Is that a
from
one-time
that,
thing
not
or-
from that program, and the way that program is we have to, because I actually bumped into Terry Duell in Homerman and Boys, and we talked about it. And so let's say we got another $500,000 grant. The $400,000 grant is for 25% of the costs. So that they would say, okay, well, that $500,000 grant has lowered your total project costs by this much. So this is no longer 430,000. Now it's 25% of whatever's left. It's still good, and there's still, you just have to do the calculations to figure out, because if you get certain grant amounts, it might not be worth it to accept it. But we're going to continue to apply, and also for the interest-free financing.
Well, the federal government or somebody on the news is talking about, hey, in 10 years, all the infrastructure is just going
Oh yeah.
leaks and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a feeling there's going to be probably a push for infrastructure, because our pipes went in 1960, I guess, and they have a 60 to 70 year life.
Well,
And I know buses continue patch. But it may
Federal
be a time
government-
when we got to do like a whole street or something.
they should have done it when interest rates were 0, but now they're waiting, and that's foolish on their part, I say. Anything else? Any other comments by board members? Okay.
You're done, really?
I am. Fred is here.
All right. So we need to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters. Is that enough for you, Nick? No? You're saying no? Well, we gotta talk about some policy issues with overtime and vacation policies and compensation, and there was one other thing, right?
Differences between department heads. And
Right,
classification,
classifications.
a health insurance issue,
Oh yeah, health insurance issue.
and a classification of employees.
Right.
And holiday.
And holiday time. Is that better? Yeah?
That's got more meat.
I won't go until Nick is satisfied. He is a good reporter. All right, do we have a motion?
Make a motion for a brief recess and then go into executive session.
Oh, someone has to pee after all that Coke.
Yeah. Well, I just want Nick to have the opportunity to talk to you and ask questions.
Right, I see. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, go into executive session.
That was good.